Animated Christmas cards is what we're doing today. So without any more fuss and bother, what I'm going to do is start off with a new image measuring 300 by 300 or whatever size you like. I use 300 by 300 because I find that's a nice easy size to work with, and also the finished object by the time you finish creating your animation won't be too large that you can't send it through the email system. Used to be a 2 megabyte limit on what you can send in a single email, so we have to aim at keeping the size of what we're doing fairly low. So I'm starting with 300 by 300. Off we go. It's a white background, as you'd imagine, with a black pen. I'll change that straight away because I don't want black. What I'm going to do is go for a grey. Doesn't have to be anything in particular, and all I'm going to do is separate one side from the other about a third of the way up or down, and a few little markers underneath that. I'm going to select another pen with a slightly deeper grey, reduce the size of the pen somewhat, and just put a few tracks in what will become snow, I hope. There we go, happy with that. Let's find a nice colour for the skyline. We want it to be a nighttime scene, so we don't want it in bright blue like that one there. But what we do want is, we don't want it jet black, because nighttime isn't black. Let's try it about there. And I'll flood fill the top half, something like that. There we go. Lovely sky. Now for drawing of the Christmas tree. Don't be too careful, because too careful makes a mess usually. What we're going to have is a nice brown for the wood, and all I'm going to do is very roughly just, there we go. Don't even have to worry about it being perpendicular, because that's all we're doing on it. Now I'm going to put some foliage on this tree stump. Selected. What I'm going to do is actually pick loads of different greens, but I'm going to start round about a third of the way down the page, and all I'm doing, little crisscross images like that, getting progressively larger towards the bottom. As I say, don't be too fussy in particular. Let's choose a different green again. Let's go somewhere like that, and follow the same sort of track down. Hopefully I won't make too many mistakes, but don't worry if you do, because you can always go back and remedy them. Again, choose a different green, a bit darker still this time. Maybe as well what I'll do is just change the brush size a little bit, make it just a little bit smaller. This doesn't look too tree-like, but it doesn't need to. Right, there we are. I'll say that is our tree for this Christmas. We'll decorate our tree now, so what I'm going to do is get a few little streamers, and you can see by the size of this one I've scaled them down to about 18 point, and all I'm going to do is just put a few of them on the tree, just to make it look a bit Christmassy. There we go, that's lovely. You don't even have to get them on the tree either, you can be very rough and ready with this. Right, top of the tree, if we're going to dress this up, we need to select maybe a star to go up the top. But we want the star to be a bright and shiny star. Like that one. That's kind of like nice. Yeah, I'll do. There we go, that's the tree at the top, the star at the top of the tree. I have a few baubles on the tree. I'm going to forget that and just come back to it. So what we're going to do is draw a few baubles with the shape. Nice little round shape. Circular, lovely. One, we want it stroked and filled. You've got the choices here: stroked, filled, stroked and filled. Right, what I'm going to do for the time being is just draw white blobs where I want my baubles. They don't have to be too big. They don't have to be too small either. There we go, just enough so as you can see it, not enough to be too crowded. Let me take the levels off that. That's smashing. Now what I'm going to do is just colour some of these balls in. Really anywhere which is a nice sort of bauble colour that you get. And I'm just going to fill in some of these spots. Obviously not all the same colour, because I'll come up here and choose maybe a different colour, or a bright orange one perhaps. There we go, just to fill in a few of the holes. Some twinkling blue ones. Some deep blue ones. There we go. Lovely. A little message, which I've chosen Devroy Unicode font, although you can choose whatever font you think best. Messages entirely, whatever you want, from All at Plugit in this case. We'll wish everybody can't even see it. And Merry Christmas from All at Plugit. We can make that a bit bigger if we want. To fill up the skyline, wonderful. And down just a tad. That's it. Again, flatten the layer out. Merry Christmas from All at Plugit. There we go. That will be number 1 picture. So what we're going to do is save as, or F12. And I'm going to make a new folder on the desktop. Just call it something simple, tree, and I'm going to save this image as a JPEG. I'll call it image 1. There we go. There's a standard Christmas tree. Right, to be an animation we have to have more than one, like a little movie screen going past. You need more than one picture at a time. So what I'm going to do is just enhance this one a little bit, and the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to pick my normal brush and change the size to about 39. I'm going to try that for size. There we go, that's lovely. And the reason I've done that, it gives that nice bright halo around the star. The other bits and pieces on there, if I get my flood fill tool and go around and just change a few of the pictures, or colours. Again, you don't have to be too fussy with this. And I'm going to save that picture now. That's number 2. This time I've taken the flash from round the star, and we're going to put some more colours. That should do that one. We'll save that as number 3. Right, again we'll come back and put a nice great stuff. Maybe even go really mad and add just one more bauble there. And as I said earlier on, you don't need to be too fussy with anything. It's just here we go. And we save that again. This time as number 4. Going back, take all the changes off. This time leaving the star without the halo around it. Right, I'll just and again save that. This time is number 5. Let's put our halo back on there. Again white. There we go. I think that'll do it for now. I'll just save that as image number 6. Right, if you're doing this effect with the light on and off, keep an even number, because it does help to balance things out in the end. As you see here on the main menu, we have the animation shop, so I'll call that into view and run an animation wizard, which asks us how we want it. This is setting up the animation. We want the same size for the first image frame, which is fine. We want it transparent. Everything we're using a fairly good square, so it doesn't matter whether it's centered or upper cornered, but you can select. Right, we want to play it repeatedly. And how long do you want each frame to be displayed in 1/100ths of a second? Right, if we go up to say 20, that changes the picture 5 times every second. So if we add an image from there, it should open up in our tree. We'll have image number 1, we'll add another image, image number 2, add another image, number 3, and so forth down to image number 6. There we go. And next. And finish. And we can now view the animation. And that's what we get. Quite nice. Happy with that. Certainly am from my point of view. So we can now go in to save it as, and we'll save it in the junk dump. I can't even say it. Junk dump. And find the tree folder, and we'll call it xmas 2010 and save. And now asks us, do we want better image quality or smaller file size? Now what I tend to do is just move that down a little bit so you get a bit smaller file size. Next, it does all the various layers that we've got set up. Next again, optimized file is going to be 52 kilobytes big. To download it, about 5 seconds, so that's fairly quick. Right, so close PaintShop Pro for now, and where's our folder called Tree, and in there we should have an animation. Oh, here it is. And if we look at that, there we are, Merry Christmas from all. And that is a freestanding picture. As you see, because it's transparent, it now blends with the backgrounds as well. So that's our Christmas card. You can send that out to people. If you don't want to send them a proper card, obviously you can add to that. If you put that as an attachment, you can add to it. Or, going back to the original design we had, we can actually make that a bit wider, sort of that size, and in one of the sides here we can put a message. Let's just change that very quickly. Canvas size 300, make it 600 wide. We don't want it centered. Okay. Remember, the background color is the color in the background. Wow, that's clever. There we go. And we can get our, just flatten the layer out first. Get text and put a little message here. Go. And if you save that in with all the little if you save that with all the little pictures you do and change, you can change the colour of inks each time you go around if you wish, or just leave it as is. So there we have it. Thank you very much for listening.